Hello and happy Valentine's Day. I'm Francis Beck, and here on the channel I kind of have a tradition going on already since the very first beginning that I try to make a special on Valentine's Day. Well, we had a cappuccino for my wife, then we had a latte for my mother-in-law. You know, you need to have some love for the mother-in-law as well if you want to have a happy family life. Let's put it this way. And this time, well, last year I did it on green coffee extract. This time I'm going back to a cappuccino for my wife, actually, but a special one. A 100% Robusta one. And let me explain you why. It does have to do with me being a cheap bastard again. And it has to do with these giant beans that they have been featured in several episodes up to this point. Well, it all started when I bought the Genie Cafe that gave me 2 kilograms free of charge Vietnam giant Robusta beans, which I then tried to use to make several roasting profiles and experimenting, and that was usually smaller batches of even just 200. And as you can see, this is not just for show. This is really necessary to get some smaller pieces in the mix, which then, when I'm adding them to the grinder, it allows the grind to proceed smoothly. So this grinder is actually able to process them, but sometimes they just start flipping about, and by this kind of pre-processing here, getting some smaller pieces in the mix helps to get to a continuous grind, as I can now demonstrate. So yeah, previously I just had smaller batches of around 200 grams, and then with Charles a month ago I had the brilliant idea of roasting a kilogram of the Vietnam beans. Now I tried already to give them away for free, and there's a lovely Yelena Antonovna, refugee from Ukraine, already here in Belgium, also now I guess for 3 years. I once made an episode together with her where she expressed that she liked very bitter coffee, and when she was young she would even drink this I forgot the name, the oak fruit coffee something drink. And so I thought, well, if anyone might like this Vietnam roast, it might be her. So I gave her a tasting between this pure Robusta, and of course, in all my excitement, again, the static of these beans, it's really just unbelievable. Now, usually I just wet my hands a little bit, like this, but I mean, you can't really wet them after the fact. But okay, I got most of my. So I'm going for 16 grams here. Not most of it out. But no, she liked the Arabica. So I was still stuck with this undrinkable coffee, for me personally. I mean, I made several batches of filter coffee with it. And, I never thought about, well, let's make an espresso with it. But then, as I run through my other coffee, and I didn't have time of roasting, busy at the Mice Botanic Garden, not wanting to throw it away because I'm a cheap bastard. I mean, I don't like just throwing something away. I haven't actually properly dialed it in. So at the very least, I should give it a go. And to my amazing surprise, the coffee was actually a lot better than I could have ever imagined. So in an ideal process you would have preheated these things a little bit, but okay, there we go. So I'll just measure the one side. That's actually how I go about my business in the morning. This is the actual workflow. So my wife gets a not properly extracted cappuccino, and I usually, you know, I will, you see, it's not going to be ideal. It's 17, 18, 9, I'm going to top it up on 20, I'm a little bit just, okay, just going through the process, let's say, but let's give the espresso a taste. But now it's a little bit under extracted in a way, so I got also a volume of 40. Now when I do the 16 grams and the exact workflow that you just now saw, I even get just 18 grams of the Robusta coffee, and it tastes so chocolatey. I mean, the chocolatey thing is still here. What I pick up now, the crema is so smooth, even in this condition. And I guess the extraction wasn't ideal now, but it still has a good enough crema. Let me just first, you know, of course, cleaning up is part of the job, and usually goes quickly, like this. Now we'll just make the cappuccino part, which, of course, we need to milk, which stays in the fridge until the moment you actually need it. So this will be a small latte art course as well. The thing is, you don't want the milk too thick, you don't want it too thin. And it's about knowing the jar in which you prepare it. And for this actually is a perfect quantity for this size of cup. Because if you fill it up around the middle, you can pump in air and double the volume almost. But you shouldn't totally double it, because then it usually is a little bit too thick. In my experience, it should just be a little bit thinner. So this whole exercise is about, you know, sharing some information. At least, you know, to my big surprise, this espresso, which when I have it filtered, it's undrinkable for me and for others, even people liking bitter drinks. But that's an espresso, pure Robusta. And this is even not a perfect shot, and I can tell you honestly, I wouldn't throw it away in the morning, you know. Another time I might have actually exactly the same kind of thing going on. So I hope you will be able to see this properly, although, you know, why make things more complicated if they can be easier? Let's just get the camera closer by, and let's go a little bit down here, so you have a nice view. And so then the technique is, of course, I usually on the Gaja Classic, once it's heated up, I can just turn it off, and you start with having it a little bit diagonally. And then, you know, a good relationship is about listening. So, you know, listen, just listen. You want this kind of shushing, you know, not one partner telling the other, be silent, but the steam ones making, you know, fabulous foam in the milk. And so the general technique is, you know, you build up your foam in the initial stages when it's still heating up. When it's lukewarm, when you actually feel that it's warm, you want the milk to swirl around as quickly as possible to really have a good mixture, up to the point that you're not really able anymore to hold your hand. Then first thing you do is cleaning, right? Of course, that's the first thing you do. You know, you still have some steam power to clean around. Perfect, so we have a perfectly clean machine here. And then the pièce de résistance, of course, will be, are we able on Valentine's Day Well, this is a pre-production because unfortunately on Valentine's Day I'm at a conference, so this is, you know, it's all dedicated to my wife, and I'm sorry that I'm supposed to, knock on wood. That's I'm a scientist, but still I like to knock on wood. Call me crazy, why wouldn't you? Alright, so let's see. So the technique is actually you start high and slowly, and then when you get around the middle, then you're supposed to go quicker. Ooh. Oh wow. So, and then of course I'm not a perfect artist, so I need to cheat a little bit. Okay, you see, I mean, it's a little bit a misformed heart here, but the intentions are good. The intentions are very noble. Of course, my wife isn't actually at home now. This is for you, darling. But the taste, I mean, if I would still be into cappuccinos, I would give this a 7 out of 10. The latte art, I would maybe a 5 out of 10 if I'm being nice to myself. And we should just be nice to each other. I mean, whether it's your loved one, your family, your friends, the person you meet on the street, just, give them all the love you're able to share. So with this note, thanks for following the special on Valentine's Day. I wish you all the love you can find, all the friendship and all the joy, and thanks for following this episode, and hope to see you on a next one.